Good morning. Welcome back to Business Math B. This morning we're going to be talking about selling price and profit. And this you're going to find in your Project4A. Don't forget, on the Adobe site you can find all of your project formula information in the upper right-hand corner if you want to just do a quick scan. If this document is helpful to you, you can actually download this document or any of the presentations from the class on the bottom left corner. You basically just search through. You could scroll through these and find the one that you want. And the project formulas are in Business Math B projects. You highlight it, and then you upload or download the file onto your own computer. Okay? So as you can see from the picture, if you are a business owner, selling price and profit go hand in hand and they go up and down. It's a constant change. In any business, a lot of times the simplest and most effective way to fluctuate your earned income is to change the price of your product or your service. But you have to be aware. You need to be aware that if you change your price, it will affect things. If it's too high, it might scare off current customers, or it may it may not change your customer base. It may decrease purchases. However, if you increase your product price at the right time, you can increase your profit extensively. So when we look at this a little bit closer, the definition of a selling price is the price at which something is offered for sale, or the asking price. And the definition of a profit is the difference between the amount earned and the amount spent in buying, operating, and producing your product or service. So it's the income subtract the expenses. In your Project 4, if you turn to page 3 and line 5, I'm going to refer to that as an example. Yeah, there's a question. If the product is in high demand, would it be okay to increase the price? Yes, that is the rule of thumb. The higher the demand, the higher the price can be raised. That's a really good point that you made. Okay, so here are some of the basics that we're going to review. You've got your selling price. Forecasted as sales is what you think that you'll sell. Fixed costs, those are the things that cost the same. Fixed cost per unit. Now the difference between fixed cost and fixed cost per unit, fixed cost is like, say, for the month or for the week. Fixed cost per unit is for one item, either one service or one product. The variable cost per unit, same thing. It's the thing that changes per unit, per one product. Total cost per unit is going to be the fixed and variable together. Gross sales is all the income that comes in. And the net sales is going to be all the income, subtract all of these expenses. So now let's look at each of these again visually. One of the ways you can calculate in your problems your fixed cost per unit is if they give you the total costs and they give you how many total units that you're going to sell, you could divide that and find out how much it would be for one unit. That's one way to calculate that. So the example of this, again in Project 4, page 3, line 5, it's $85,000 is the fixed cost, the total fixed cost for all of the product. And you sold, there's 9,000 So that means the fixed cost per unit is $9.44. Okay, the next example is same project, same page, same line. We're going to stay on that same line. This time we're going to look at the total costs. So if you notice in the chart, you now have fixed cost per unit is what we just calculated is $9.44, and the $3 variable cost is already in there. So total cost will be remember, your profit comes from subtracting your sales or gross sales and your total costs. In your total costs, you can actually take how much it costs per unit for one and multiply it by the total of sales, and that'll give you how much all of the total costs are. So on the same line here, again, we're going to look a little closer. So we now know that the cost per unit is $12.44, and the forecasted unit sales is 9,000 of them. So there you go. There's your total cost. And once we have the total cost, what can we calculate from there? That's right, we can calculate your total net profit. So now you know, it says in the chart that you brought in 116,550. We're going to subtract the 11,960, and that will give us our final net profit. That's a lot of units you got to sell for $5,000. 9,000 units a month. And then I'm thinking 30 days in a month. So you got to sell 300 units a day. That's a lot to make $4,000 a month. Okay, those are your 3 examples from your project. I don't want you to forget about these video clips. When you open up your links in your announcement, the announcement is titled Participation Requirements. I've literally gone through hundreds and hundreds of video links to find some really cool links on these subjects. And they're usually only about, you can look at right when you open them and they start to play how long they are. Typically they're 3 to 7 minutes. Every once in a while I'll put one in that's like 20 or 30 minutes, but not very often. So they're definitely worth watching. I try to find one that's based on like another country's viewpoint, more of an open perspective on it. I try to find one from a college student that explains it, or I try to find one that's like either a song or a cartoon, something that's kind of humorous that explains it. So they're pretty fun to watch. Those of you that are live in the class right now, as soon as I stop the recording, I'll do a quick poll and mark you down for your participation today. Those of you that are watching this as a recorded link, don't forget, again at the bottom of the participation announcement, to open up that red link. It's a Google document. You just click on it and download it onto your computer and save it. And you can actually type on that, and I need you to email that to me. Okay, for participation points, you need to complete 2 Adobe sessions a week now. You can either choose your links, or you can attend the live ones at 7 a.m. or 2 p.m. or mine, Monday through Thursday, and Friday afternoons 2 to 4. Okay? Does anyone have any questions on selling price or profit? Okay, that concludes today's lesson on selling price and profit. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in Adobe again soon.